Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. We're just about set to get started, and this ought to be a good one between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Seattle Seahawks.
With the beautiful Puget Sound just to our west, you get a look inside CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. Today, it's the opener of a new NFL season between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Seattle Seahawks. Here's Chandler Catanzaro ready to get this one started. And off we go from Seattle. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They'll be led out by their 5'11 quarterback from Wisconsin by way of NC State, and that's Russell Wilson.
Gave the commencement address at the University of Wisconsin a couple of years ago. One of the most popular players ever to pull on the uniform there. The beginning of his career, he was a so-called game manager. Take care of the football and rely on the defense. Now, in this stage of his career, the offense runs through him, and it runs very well.
Here's Rashad Penny, first carry for the former San Diego State Aztec. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on first down.
On 2nd down, here's Penny. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
They'll try and run for it with Penny. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. Defense had a chance to get off the field here on the opening drive, couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important 3rd down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
It is hard in zone coverage to stop a curl route because when they see it, they just try and find the open spot and sit down.
Yeah, we always talk about finding the soft spot in the zone. What's the key to doing that? How do you do it?
You have to read what the coverage is. Is it 2 deep? Is it 3 deep? Because then you know where the linebackers are going to drop, what spots on the field they naturally get to, and you find that open space, and then you're in sync with your quarterback. He should be reading the exact same thing, and they put the ball right on you.
On 3rd and 1, Wilson. And he's got Lockett. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. Wilson to Lockett there for the Seahawk first down.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but the big article in the paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone?
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now a play fake here on first down. He'll buy some time right. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
You know, I don't think this is the last time we'll see that in this game. This guy has mobility, and they want to use his legs in the game plan. So there will be designed runs as well as his scrambles.
An inaugural trip to the red zone here for the Seahawks. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 11. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. So nothing there. I don't know that that's all in the back, though. You got to look at blocking there, don't you?
I would agree with that totally. At some point, they have to win at the point of attack. Instead, it was the defense getting it done again and holding them to no gain.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And this is going to be incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
And Bailey able to knock it through. And the Seahawks grab a 3-0 lead. A dozen plays on that drive that ends with the field goal.
Let's go ahead and break out some of the old chestnuts here, right, partner? Keep the ball in front, rally to it, and make the tackle. Right? No big plays given up, no balls over your head. Bend, don't break.
Hold on. Chestnuts?
You like
Come
that
on.
one?
What does that mean, break out? That just because you break chestnuts?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm just going with why they said that. I have no idea.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Fuller brings it in over the middle. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And the Seahawks have recovered. Well, he did what he's known for. He made the catch, then he turned into a runner, took the contact, and coughed it up.
And all I remember as a player, when they catch the ball, when those acrobatic guys catch it, you have to make them pay sometimes. You have to put it on them, big tackle, knock the ball free, anything you can do to slow them down.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Tackle made that time by Vita Vea.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
On 2nd down, here's Wilson. And to the right side here, it's Allen. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. Dante Fowler in on the stop. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. And the tackle there by Quan Alexander.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Alongside my broadcast partner, Charles Davis. The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. From the gun, it's Wilson. And he's got it. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone.
And down he goes. A Buccaneer sack. Quan Alexander in there to get him for what will be a loss of 13 yards.
That I'm struggling to understand a little bit. That close to the goal line, first down, run the football. If you want to throw it, throw some play action on second down.
They get it to him running left. And this carry, despite the good move, will be stopped short of the 10. Only a couple yards there, and that's going to set up a long 3rd and goal. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. That's complete, right around the 8. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. In for the score. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. So we just witnessed touchdown number 1 for the Rook, and certainly that's a football he's going to want for the trophy case.
Yeah, this is one that you don't spike, right? This is one you don't throw to your teammate and let them celebrate. This is one you keep for yourself, take it over to the equipment staff, and have them mark it up, put it away, and then you get it later on, and as you said, mount it in your trophy case. Fantastic. Hopefully the first of many.
Bailey got the extra point, and the lead grows to 10-0. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Now the Buccaneer offense gets set to take over. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, pump the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and bunch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
First carry now for the backup, LaShawn McCoy. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. Barkevius Mingo in that time on the tackle. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. They'll look to throw here. He finds his target, Fuller. And they're able to get this one across the 35. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39. Back to the ground, this time with Jones. He'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And he's got a man. It's the tight end, Howard, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the 1st. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
On the handoff, it's Michelle. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
Keeping it on the ground on first, Michelle. And he'll get this down to about the 30, 31-yard line. Earl Thomas in on the stop.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Fuller. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down. And they'll be in search of 6 yards here on third down. This is now the 9th play of the drive. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back to CenturyLink Field after this. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. They'll set up to throw. Going to drop this off to McCoy. Complete. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Now a first down carry here for McCoy. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be second and very short.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line. In pregame, get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
Now back to throw. His throw incomplete. Mike Evans, the one he was looking for. And it's third down.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard.
No, check. Patriot!
On third and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. They came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
And no field goal try here from the red zone offense out there. They'll go for it on fourth. It's a quarterback sneak. And he'll be touched out here, but not before he does pick up the first. So the decision to go for it turns out to be a good one. They get a couple of yards, and as a result, the drive keeps moving. It's now first and goal. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game.
Leopard! All right, here we go. Blue landed!
Trying to pound it in here with Michelle. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
And his throw is incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. This stadium once registered as the loudest roar ever recorded, and you can hear them now. Third and goal. They'll set up a throw. Looking for Evans, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Logan Ryan. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half.
Well, it's third down. You're in a tight game in the loudest stadium in the NFL, and it's enough to rattle even the most seasoned of quarterbacks. And here, it looks like he's not quite on the same page as his receiver. This will wind up a turnover.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend, as we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports app. All right, we will save the Week 1 highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the third. We'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start in the third quarter. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Brad McDougal. And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line.
All right, work with me, partner. This is a classic understatement. Their execution has been very poor. Last 3 drives, 2 interceptions and a fumble. Winning football? We're not seeing it right now.
They'll try and get the run game going. This is Penny. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out. But a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They go read option with Wilson. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 4 yards there on the keeper, but still going to bring up a 3rd down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. On 3rd down, Penny. And he's brought down. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
So it's pretty simple, partner. You pick up a turnover, set you up in excellent field position. The last thing you want to do is go 3 and out in this spot.
Yeah, they would have to settle for a field goal attempt, but now they keep those touchdown hopes alive. Penny will try to punch it in. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Now they'll throw it with Wilson. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
When you're this close to the goal line, you've got to expect pressure from the defense, so the ball's got to come out fast. Got to get out of his hands quicker.
Wilson of the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. From the shotgun, Wilson. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. He had a quick little spin move, but the door shut fast as he's dropped. A gain of 5, but not enough. Leads to a 4th and goal. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the 3rd quarter.
And as a defense, The way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Bobby Wagner coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball on this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
They'll look to throw. He's got his tight end over the middle, O.J. Howard. And they work this out past the 25. A good pickup there at 22.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
The interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. Back to throw. Spins past it. Over the middle, complete. It's Fuller. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
Always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
They'll drop to throw. And a catch right side by Evans. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. A give. This is Michelle. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2.
No gain on that run, and while this team is down, they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Maybe you just have to think about different style of running in order to get this guy going.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Michelle, and he's got the first down before being taken down at the 46. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
They had yet to run the ball at all on this drive, but 3rd and short, definitely was a great time to dial one up.
Nothing in that first half, nothing on the last drive, but they're moving now with a 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Logan Ryan. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. Thought they had something going there to break that goose egg here in the second half, but to no avail.
Hope was alive until that interception. What a terrific play, taking the ball away after it looked like they were starting a drive.
And now that shutout still standing. You know that's something those defensive guys hold a lot of pride on, too.
No doubt about it. They're excited about where they are in this game.
After the interception, here's Wilson. Dancing to his left. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Quan Alexander in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
So after the sack, they'll come up on a still manageable 2nd and 13. They'll run it now out of the gun. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. A very solid gain of 27. Great patience in the pocket. Of course, it's easy to be patient when the protection's good, and it was.
Yeah, you've got to pat those guys on the...
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player. You threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Now Wilson. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, 4th quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh? Well, he's got a big leg, and when everything comes together, he can certainly hit from long range, but this one's going to come up just a little bit short. A very good effort, though.
The Buccaneers in good field position here to start out 1st and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line.
As they say, this game hasn't exactly been one for the books. I mean, we're into the 4th quarter here. And now this happens, another turnover. Not one that they're going to hold up and say, yeah, this has been a banner day.
Absolutely. Still sitting on 0. Following the fumble recovery, it's Wilson. Griffin's got it, middle of the field. And he's taken down inside the 30. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves his sticks. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And his throw here is incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. They'll run it now out of the gun. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The Seahawks on third down. 6 conversions and 9 tries. They've done a great job of picking these up. This is 3rd and 7. Now it's Wilson. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. And Bailey able to knock it through. And that's going to make this a 16-0 ball game. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still 8 up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrated. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, and pushed it past the 50-yard line so they felt like they were in striking distance. And to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? 4th quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
So 2nd in inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Logan Lyon. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it? Kurt Coleman.
Oh, yeah, that's
then
right.
With the Eagles.
That's right. Then with the Eagles, and I believe it was against Washington and Rex Grossman.
That's correct. Throw left side, complete to Scott. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
When you call a wide receiver screen, no matter how many blockers you get in front of the guy that catches the ball, there's still an aspect of the guy catching it, turning into a runner, breaking tackles and creating his own yardage, and he just did on that play.
Now Wilson on 2nd down. It's complete to Lockett. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down.
Brandon, just mark that under the category of just not successful. Trying to throw the ball, just didn't work on that one.
Completed it. No yardage. Under 4 to play now. Clock running. 3rd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. With his guys trailing here in the 4th, he can ill afford a repeat of the interception that ended the last drive.
Yeah, you're 2 scores down. You take it upon yourself now to play perfect or near-perfect football if you want to get your team back into the game. But it's also tough to do when you're trying to avoid errors, yet still play perfect football.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Decent start there to the drive. Big hill to climb, needing 2 touchdowns, also a 2 two-point conversion.
So, partner, how do you eat an elephant?
I don't eat an elephant. Who eats an elephant?
Well, if you do it one bite at a time.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. 2nd and long, but you got to figure this almost certainly another run. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. They run it with Carson. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've converted 6 times and could use a 7th here. This is 3rd and 8. They run again with Carson. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. So they'll turn to the kicker again. He's been a busy man thus far. This to make it a 3-score game late. And Bailey able to knock it through. And that will stretch the lead to 3 scores now at 19-0. So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down. But don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once we were down.
And that's caught inside the 35. And he is down deep into Seattle territory. It's a big play there for the Buccaneers. 63 yards. Well, it's one thing to grab it with one hand, but when you make a catch of that distance, quite another.
Yes, sir. I mean, that one right there, we keep talking about the high-flying antics that we're seeing from receivers nowadays. Doesn't matter what spot they start in, but when it actually does happen in the heat of battle, brings me right out of my seat.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down. They'll try and run for it with McCoy. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. They only got 2, but that was enough as they'll convert to make it 1st and goal. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. As his guys are in for 6. And the Bucs are able to cut in now to that deficit.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team. But I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
So time definitely not in their favor. Down 2 scores, but they'll try the onside kick. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. And just how they envisioned the start of the season, kneeling it down, defense can't stop the clock. This one's a winner.
You know what's really strange? I think a lot of people think that the kneel-down practice stuff really only happens like one time a week. The best teams I know, they practice starting back in OTAs. They want them to visualize winning a game and how great that feels, and they got it done in this one.
Yep, a knee gets them to 1-0. And partner, this first week, this first game that we get to call.